Welcome to Echoes Untold, where history whispers and we listen.
In today's episode, we unravel the story of West Caribbean Airways Flight 708, a routine flight that turned into one of the deadliest aviation disasters in history. This is a tale of misjudgments, technical failures, and tragic loss, one that changed the course of aviation safety. Stay with us as we dive deep into the events of August 16, 2005. West Caribbean Airways Flight 708 was a chartered flight scheduled to fly from Panama City, Panama, to Martinique, a French Caribbean island. The flight was carrying 152 passengers, mostly vacationers returning home from holiday, along with 8 crew members. The aircraft was a McDonnell Douglas MD-82, a workhorse of commercial aviation, known for its efficiency and reliability. Manufactured in 1986, the plane had originally belonged to Continental Airlines before being acquired by West Caribbean Airways earlier that year. While the aircraft itself was aging, it was considered airworthy, at least on paper. West Caribbean Airways was a Colombian airline founded in 1998. By 2005, it had gained a reputation for cost-cutting measures and financial struggles. Reports suggested that the airline was in severe economic distress, affecting pilot training, aircraft maintenance, and overall operational reliability. This would later become a significant factor in the crash of Flight 708. Just 4 months before the tragedy, another aircraft belonging to West Caribbean Airways crashed in Colombia, killing all on board. Authorities had already started questioning the airline's safety practices, but no immediate action had been taken to ground its fleet. The crew of Flight 708 consisted of experienced pilots, but they were flying under challenging conditions. The captain, Omar Ospina, was 40 years old and had logged nearly 6,000 flight hours, including over 1,000 on the MD-82. The first officer, David Munoz, was significantly younger, just 21 years old, with around 1,341 hours of flight experience. Though both were qualified to operate the aircraft, the relatively low experience of the first officer and the airline's training shortcomings would later prove critical in the moments leading up to the crash. At 0:58 local time, Flight 708 took off from Tocumen International Airport in Panama City. Everything seemed routine as the aircraft climbed to its cruising altitude of 33,000 feet. However, trouble began when the pilots activated the anti-icing system due to potential icing conditions. Unknown to the crew, this decision reduced engine efficiency and slowed the aircraft's speed. Over time, the plane struggled to maintain its altitude, and its speed dropped dangerously low. Instead of recognizing the developing aerodynamic stall, the pilots mistakenly believed that both engines had lost power. In aviation, an aerodynamic stall occurs when the aircraft loses lift due to insufficient airspeed. Recovery requires the pilots to push the nose down to regain speed before attempting to level out. Unfortunately, the crew misinterpreted their situation and took actions that worsened the stall. Instead of lowering the nose, they tried to maintain altitude, causing the plane to lose even more speed. The aircraft entered a deep stall, from which recovery was nearly impossible at that altitude. Flight 708 began a rapid descent, plummeting toward the Venezuelan countryside. As the MD-82 spiraled downward at terrifying speeds, the pilots frantically tried to regain control. Distress calls were sent to air traffic controllers in Venezuela, stating that they had lost both engines. However, their communication did not indicate that they were in a stall, meaning air traffic controllers were unable to provide helpful advice. At 3:01 local time, the aircraft crashed into a remote region near Mexique, Venezuela. The impact was catastrophic, instantly killing all 160 people on board. The crash site was a scene of devastation, scattered wreckage and burning debris spread across the forested terrain. Authorities quickly launched an investigation into the disaster. The black box recorders were recovered, providing crucial insight into the final moments of Flight 708. Investigators determined that the plane entered an aerodynamic stall due to a lack of sufficient airspeed. The crew mistakenly believed they had suffered a dual engine failure. Instead of following proper stall recovery procedures, the pilots attempted to maintain altitude, worsening the situation. The airline's training practices and maintenance records were substandard, raising questions about its operational safety. It was later revealed that West Caribbean Airways had been under significant financial strain, which may have contributed to poor pilot training and aircraft maintenance. The airline ceased operations in October 2005, just 2 months after the crash. The tragedy of Flight 708 had a lasting impact on aviation safety. It highlighted the need for better pilot training in handling high-altitude stalls. Following the crash, aviation authorities worldwide implemented stricter regulations on pilot proficiency and training. The incident was also a wake-up call for smaller airlines operating aging aircraft under financial constraints. Many industry experts pointed out that airlines struggling financially often cut corners on training and maintenance, sometimes with disastrous consequences. The memory of the passengers and crew of Flight 708 lives on. The crash remains one of the deadliest in Venezuelan history and serves as a stark reminder of the importance of proper pilot training and aircraft maintenance. While the wreckage has long been cleared, the echoes of that fateful flight still whisper through aviation history. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. If you found this story insightful, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more historical narratives. Echoes Untold, where history whispers, and we listen. Fact check note: the information in this episode is based on official reports from the Civil Aviation Accident Investigation Board, data from the Aviation Safety Network, and other credible sources, including the final crash report published by Venezuelan aviation authorities.